What up, YouTube? Making this series of videos on how to mount tires. I didn't realize there's not very many videos on the internet about it. Today specifically we're going to be focusing on 3-piece wheels. It's a different technique than your standard wheel. Some 3-piece wheels are actually face up still. In this particular occasion we're dealing with a face down wheel. When I say face down, what I mean is hold on a second. Okay, so this is the face of the wheel. This wheel here is a face down wheel. So what that means is when we put this wheel on the tabletop, this is what you call the tabletop, it's going to be facing, the face is going to be down. And we're going to clamp it from the outside here. We're going to clamp it with the edge of this right here. The machine that I use, highly recommend. The only thing I'll ever use is a Coates machine, #1. This is a 70 times AH3. AH3 stands for air hand, I don't know, 3rd generation, but it's an air machine, pneumatic. I don't use electric machines. I don't believe in them. If you go to any tire shop, for the most part you'll see air machines and you'll see a Coates machine because they're tried and true and they work. And I've used many other machines and I will always love this machine over all of them. Okay, so 3-piece wheel. What you're gonna want to do, I've already done. Typically the lip is gonna be bigger than your average wheel. This one here, as you can see, I got it to basically fold past the drop center, which is right there. So you just work your way around the wheel with the bead breaker. Work your way around. Don't try on the first time that you break the bead to get it to do that, because it's not gonna work that way, and it's more than likely gonna damage the wheel, damage something. Also, another thing you're gonna want to always look out for is the valve stem. Always know where it's at. See, if you can see here, I broke it across from the valve stem. That's the safest way to do it. So these things right here, a lot of the time they're a special one. Like this one's like a 90-degree one and it barely sticks out here. So if I were to break that right now, I'd be shit out of luck, and more than likely you would be too. So that's one thing you really want to be careful with. As far as scratching the lip here, the way that I'm extra careful is I tape up before I start working. I put fresh tape on all these heads here. They have these little plastic inserts here that I could replace. I haven't done that in a while. I probably should, but like I said, I just tape it up real good, and that for the most part is able to protect this. Another thing, when you're doing these type of wheels, or when you're doing any type of wheel that's a face down, you want to do everything in one smooth motion. Because the more times that you do like a jerky motion, the more times the clamps could potentially slip and scratch the wheel. So you want to always try and do everything in a smooth motion. Okay, so I showed you what you do on the face. You want to get it stuck right there, essentially. And then on this other side, which is the side that we'll be taking off the tire from, I only break it once. I don't break it more than once. You only need to break it once. So we'll go ahead and get the wheel onto the machine. What I do is I grab it from the center here, because we always want to be real careful. Work our way to the machine, set it down real gentle. I don't even let it touch the whole machine yet. I put it like in 2 of the pockets or slots, then I bring it in slowly. What's great about this machine is it allows me to bring it in as much as I want to, as a little bit at a time. That's why I really like this machine when it comes to working with aftermarket wheels that you don't want to mess up. You can go as slowly, gently as you want to. So now there we are, clamped down. A lot of the machines that I've used before, you hit it once and it closes, and you have to just catch it where you need to catch it and just pray it doesn't clamp it too hard. That's why I really love this machine. So from here, we're going to get our duck head. We're going to put it where it goes here. I'm sorry that I'm trying to record and do this and work at the same time. So we got that in there. I always use soap and water. A lot of you use that lube stuff. I think it's gross. Gets everywhere, gets sticky, and it just makes a mess everywhere. I use nothing but Dawn soap or dish soap and water, and it works just fine for me. Actually, in Formula Drift, we're not even allowed to use any type of lube. So if they can get away with it, we can get away with it here. But in this occasion, since we're dealing with an expensive wheel, and just to make things easier, we're going to use soap and water. Being that this is a pneumatic machine, you don't have to worry about getting water in your electric motor or anything like that, but you do have to keep in mind that you want to always clean up, because then your machine will start getting rusty and so on and so forth. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take off one side of the tire, and you'll see that because I tucked it, or I got it to fold the way I did, it should come off all at once instead of having to do the typical procedure where you have to take dismount one side, take it off, and then break the bead all the way back again, which is what most people do. But I'm trying to show you a faster, easier way to get this done. Okay, so I guess I didn't hit record. I'm sorry, but I got it off, and it popped off in one try, like this. Usually, typically, most of the time, you'll only get it off halfway, then you have to take the rim off and then break the bead again. But because I showed you how to get it stuck, that's the reason why it should come off, because you already have it past the drop center. So the drop center is what's keeping it from basically coming off all in one motion like a regular wheel would. So if you do it like this, you should be able to get it all off in one motion like a regular face-up wheel that you can clamp from the inside would be. So let's go ahead and get it all the way off the wheel. One smooth motion like that. Alright, these are some Federal tires. He had some Nankangs on there. Everybody, I don't know where y'all got this in your head that Nankang is a good tire, or a good tire for stretching at least. It might be a good tire that maybe lasts you on the street or whatever, but if you're trying to do some stretching, definitely a shitty tire. I do not recommend them. Best tire for stretching, in my opinion, is going to be a Federal. So that's why I recommend that to him, and that's what he brought me. This is an inside-outside tire. If you don't know what that means there's an inside to the tire and there's an outside to the tire. It's not a directional tire where you can flip it and put it on either side of the vehicle. It means that the inside, which this says outside, so if this is a face-down wheel, we're gonna put the outside down because the outside of the wheel is facing down right now. So we're gonna go ahead, give it some lube. I like to lube up the wheel. The other thing I also like to lube up is the duck head, because that's where the rubber's passing over. So I always lube up the duck head real good. Then one smooth motion, just like that. Okay, you tuck it underneath the duck head. Watch out for the valve stem, because that's the thing that usually gets stuck on these 3-piece wheels. Then what I like to do is I get my elbows, I just push it down. It's not working right there, so then pick it up, get it even like this on both sides, then it should go down. There it is. So now it's stuck right here. Get your duck head, get your fork, get that in there. You see how that went down? There, it's tucked in there. You can come back here again and try and snug it down a little bit. Now it's ready to go. So now we're gonna lube it up. Like I said, extra tension on the duck head, because that's what everything slides on. Show you that trick later. These forks, they have two different ends on them. This one is the smooth end. This one has a little hook to it, as you can see. The little side with the hook is the part that goes in the duck head and holds it. And then the smooth side is the side that goes in front of it, and that's the side that you follow with your left hand. So you follow it, you hold it underneath the drop center. This arm doesn't move, you just keep holding it there. This one, you hold it where it's at, but you let the machine move your arm that way. So you keep going, As you can see, this one by itself went underneath the duck head. That's okay. Just keep holding it. And then you want to just keep applying pressure down. You want to keep the tire underneath that drop center. Keep going, keep going. Keep it tucked, keep it tucked. Once you're about here, and you're tucked, then you can take off this one here. Then you flip it around to the side that doesn't have the hook on it. Get it back underneath the drop center towards the duck head. Tuck it again. Then you proceed to go around again. Alright, one more time. Give it some pressure down, and that should be all we need right there. Should be all she wrote. And that's it. And that's how you do a 3-piece, face down, without having to take it off, the machine and break the bead 2 times. Appreciate you guys. Have a great one.